When you stop to think about classic Thanksgiving Day comedies, probably the first one that's going to come to mind is the seminal classic John Hughes' Home Alone. But for this Thanksgiving, I want to focus on John Hughes' Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. What a great comedy. Now, I'm sure there is so much to relate to in this film, which follows Steve Martin and the late great John Candy. Steve Martin plays Neil Page, who is a businessman on the road trying to get home to his family for Thanksgiving. Del Griffith plays a shower curtain ring salesman who has a rather overbearing and ne'er-do-well but irritating personality that clearly rubs Neil the wrong way. Now, many of us, I'm sure, have traveled all over the country or all over the world or whatever your means provides, and we've all met our fair share of irritating passengers or people we've come across, and basically there are so many things that happens in Planes, Trains that you completely relate to. And I remember coming home from Europe, no less, and I had a layover in Atlanta after being up for 18 hours. And the last leg of my flight home was I ended up having to sit next to a very heavy-set woman. Not that I'm saying I have any problems with heavy-set people at all, not at all. But I was placed. I had the window seat, and she took it upon herself to take the window seat when she was supposed to take the middle seat. And I was just so dead dog tired. I wanted my window seat, but I just didn't care anymore, and I just bit the bullet and just I couldn't even put my armrest down, but whatever. I just was so tired that I didn't care. Sure, comedy could have ensued out of that situation, but nothing really funny happened anyway. I was just whatever. But basically, Neil is trying to get home. Del's trying to get home. Something happens that prevents Neil from getting to his flight and getting back to his family, and the two of them join forces, albeit reluctantly, well, for Neil, reluctantly, join forces together to get home somehow. And you probably, like most people in the world, probably would feel very irritated and just like annoyed with Del. As played by John Candy, sure, he comes off as like a ne'er-do-well, but you find him like irritating. It's just okay. I acknowledge your existence now. Go on, move along, and basically, I mean, you and I or anybody else probably felt the same exact way that Steve Martin's character did. And as the film progresses, you start peeling away at the layers and find out just who Del is, and it starts getting a little sentimental, which is fine. And you see in Neil a change in his character and his how he feels about Del, and as do we. And basically that is what's so great about Planes, Trains, is that John Hughes takes the mirror, we look upon it, and we see ourselves in Neil, and then he basically just drops the mirror and slowly shows you that to not judge people by their looks or their persona, or as they say, don't judge a book by its cover. And he basically shows you that you could find something very special, something very unique in that individual that you find so irritating and annoying. You never know. And but aside from that very humanistic moment, there are some great comedy bits in this movie. Obviously, the greatest one is where Neil comes back to the car rental agency and sees Edie McClure and unleashes the greatest tirade of F-bombs in cinematic history, and it gets incredibly funnier with each F-bomb he drops. And then Edie McClure just gives the zinger that is just so, pardon my French, fucking awesome. So, But just beyond that, there are other great scenes in this movie, like you'll see if you see the trail, you'll see where they end up sleeping in the same bed, and they accidentally end up snuggling. Other great bits in the movie where they're driving a car that ends up getting rather destroyed in the process as they go down the highway. But there's just so many other great things about this movie. It's because it ends up being a very humanistic, very sentimental comedy. It pulls at the heartstrings, which is why it makes it so endearing. It's not just a dismissive Thanksgiving comedy, mean-spirited comedy, or anything like that. Like like a Bad Santa or something, or where Home Alone is just supposed to be a feel-good, fun Thanksgiving comedy. This one is fun in its own way and very adult. And the adult humor is very, very poignant, very touching, and very funny. So if you haven't seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I highly recommend it. Back then, I gave it an 8 out of 10, and I hold to that now, 8 out of 10. So have you seen Planes, Trains, or Automobiles? Have you ever experienced anything like Planes, Trains, or Automobiles in real life? Comment below and let me know. I'm very curious to find out. So if you like my review, please hit that like button below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. And if you have subscribed, thank you very much. And subscribing helps you stay on top of my reviews, not just the Throwback Thursday reviews, but any other regular reviews that come in as they hit my YouTube channel. So until next time, have a great holiday and happy Thanksgiving.